I am Pradnya GR.
I am Risa Monica and you are watching Comets TV.
These are the headlines. Still no remedy for the onion price rise.
Paper recycling plant developed at a Bangalore school.
Now, for the news in detail. Karnataka government proposed to provide storage facility to check the rising price of onion this festive season.
But this has not put an end to the spiraling price. Akhila Damodaran finds out more.
Onion is the mainstay of many staple Indian recipes. But the bad weather hampered the harvest, making the common man cry. The onion prices post-festive season seems to fluctuate between 50 and 70 rupees per kilo.
ಗ್ರಾಹಕರಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Price rise is affecting the consumer. Now they buy half a kilo instead of one. Onions have got tears in the consumer's eye.
The consumers are helpless as they cannot stop using onions despite price rise.
It is affecting us, but there is no other way. I'm from Tamil Nadu, so we are using onion for everything, for vegetable fry, for sambar, for any curries we are using onion. So if it rises also, I'll use it. There is no other way.
While the common man is shedding tears, the traders are laughing it to the banks. They fix the prices depending on the supply.
ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಡ್ರಾಸು ಆಂಧ್ರ ಕಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ
We trade onions to Andhra, Delhi and Chennai. So when only 100 trucks arrive, the demand increases. At this time, we auction the onion for higher prices, which is good for both us traders and the farmers.
The farmers say that it is only after the price hike that their hard work is valued. However, Karnataka government claims to have implemented the storage facility for these onions to cut down the rates.
See, especially for onion storage, there is no cold storage facilities for onion. We cannot store the onion in cold storage. So it should be stored in open air only. So there is a significant, not only significant, it is a unique storage structure for onion.
But the farmers seem unaware of the storage facility provided for onions.
The government has not provided us with any facilities. The government has not helped us in any way. In our district, Chitradurga, we grow onions in large quantity, but they have not implemented any storage facility.
The Karnataka government says that the storage facilities for onions is being provided to cut down the price. But the farmers say that they are unaware of it and are not yet provided with these facilities. Until the gap between the government and the farmers is bridged, it will be the consumer who will continue to suffer the heavy price. With camera person Risa Monica, this is Akhila Damodaran reporting for Comets TV.
Schools tend to consume paper in large amounts and no one knows where all the used and unused paper ends up going.
Not unless your school has its own paper recycling plant like we found at Vidyashilp Academy, Bangalore. Natasha Rego finds out more.
In recent years, environmental studies has become a compulsory subject in school. We teach our children to go green, support afforestation, and other cliché slogans related to protecting the environment. But can the children only learn from textbooks? The people at Vidyashilp Academy don't think so. Therefore, as one of their hands-on initiatives called Shilp Beyond, they have started the Vidyashilp paper recycling plant on campus.
Since most of these obvious solutions are no more than slogans on a placard, we wanted something which will get a child to notice the difference between knowing what's in a textbook and the actual experience of doing it and acting out the solution.
ನಾವು ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 600 ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಡೈಲಿ. ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 8 ಗಂಟೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ 5 ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ.
Among other things, the paper is used as worksheets for the students and for the bi-monthly newsletter which is circulated to 1700 students.
And this is the first time we used it this year. In the month of March, this was the first edition which came with the whole edition came up with the recycled paper.
And what do the students have to say about this?
Why? And my school also, I think my school is really smart taking up the initiative, because this if people get to know about this plant can go like through the country and all around the world, and people will see if they can do it, why can't we?
Everything from the students' worksheets to the newsletter, which runs into tens of thousands of pages every year, is made from this recycled paper. They even have enough paper left over to produce products which they sell for charity. So the future is looking good for Vidyashilp Academy, and one can only hope that other schools will take a leaf out of all this recycled paper and catch on. With camera person Soumya Iyer, this is Natasha Rego for Comets TV.
Looks like schools these days are getting more and more involved with saving the environment.
Well, that's all we have here today. Please stay tuned for our next show, Random Thoughts with Random People, hosted by Soumya Iyer.
That's all we have for now. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Good night.
Hi everyone, I'm Soumya and welcome to another episode of Random Thoughts with Random People, the show where we meet random people on the streets and get them to tell us their story. So the other day, I was at a Swaratma gig at a local pub and I saw an interesting young man sitting in the corner taking down notes. And that aroused my curiosity. I later found out that he has an interesting hobby on the internet. So by day, he is a senior technical writer for Dell. But by night, he goes around interviewing local musicians and blogs about them. We brought him back here today to tell us his story. So folks, let's introduce Raj Kiran. It's so nice to have you here, Raj Kiran. I know how hectic your schedule is. Thanks for being with us here today.
Oh, well, pleasure is mine. Thanks for inviting me to share my experiences with you.
So tell me about this secret hobby of yours.
Well, I usually go about interviewing a lot of local artists and musicians, finding about the kind of music that they make, the music they want to make, and their ideas about the current local scene. And I publish them on my blog, the Electric Rendezvous blog, for all my readers.
So why do you do it? What's in it for you?
It's mainly because of a passion for music that I had from a very early age. And I also want to explore the local the music scene, and I believe that there are a lot of hidden talent here, and by doing this I could probably expose the local musicians to a better platform.
So since you're enthusiastic about music, are you a musician yourself?
Yes, I aspire to be one. I in fact play a couple of instruments myself. I play the electric guitar, I play the piano, and a bit of the harmonica.
Oh wow, you can actually start a one-piece band.
Yeah, why not? To be like Bob Dylan with the guitar and the harmonica. Yeah.
So what's the music scene like now in Bangalore these days?
It's a very thriving scene in the city right now. There are a lot of bands which are truly world class, and with the introduction of social media channels like your Facebook and YouTube, a lot of bands can now reach a wider audience. Plus also the musical instruments and equipment cost has significantly come down, and they're more readily accessible to the artists. And that combined with good musicianship and good skills are really taking them to a different level altogether.
So tell me about some of the bands that you've written about.
One of the first bands we interviewed was the Prakash Santaki group. He also plays with this band called Munaro, and he's an exceptional slide guitar player. Apart from that, we've interviewed a blues outfit from Bangalore, one of the oldest. It's called the Chronic Blues Circus. We interviewed an alternative rock band called Machine Era. And in the future, we also intend to interview a couple more. We have Beversi, which is a heavy metal, stoner, doom metal band.
So the genres don't matter at all?
Not at all. Like I said, it's the sound and the kind of stage presence they command, and the skill of the musician that totally interests us. So the genre is totally irrelevant at one point.
Right, so since there are so many bands out there, how does the band get your attention?
I would say it's the most important thing is the sound for me. I think the sound of a band and the quality of the recordings, the kind of lyrics which they write, and also how they are in a live performance. You can do some good stuff in the studio using a lot of software, but when a musician is out there on the stage, his stage presence and the dynamics on the stage is what I think truly separates an average musician from a great one, in my opinion.
And is it easy to access these bands, or do they Are they sometimes snobbish?
No, not really. At least from my experience, I've interviewed a lot of acts, somebody like the Raghu Dixit Project who play a lot of gigs all over the world. And people have been very supportive, they're very accessible, they spend time even after their shows late at night, sitting down with us for a chat. And also they have a lot of these social media channels through which you can directly communicate with them, set up times. So I would say they've been very, very supportive so far.
So what is the aim of your project and where is it heading?
It's mainly heading more towards, like I said, we want to promote local music scene. Initially, we want to start with Bangalore, and maybe eventually we want to foray into the pan-India scene, and maybe get a hold of a few international artists as well. The whole idea behind the blog is to basically promote music as a medium and make it more accessible to people, so that they can appreciate the kind of talent that we have in the city and the diversity.
So there you have it, folks. Be sure to check out Electric Rendezvous because they seem like an interesting site. They have reviews, band reviews, gig reviews, album reviews, and even intricate artwork. And if you're the type who is interested in what's going on in Bangalore in terms of the music scene, then these guys have an opinion. Thank you, Raj, for joining us today. It really means a lot.
Thank you for inviting me over. It was a great pleasure talking to you.
So there we have it, folks. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Random Thoughts with Random People. Be sure to join us next week where we will be interviewing Siddharth Iyer, an amateur conspiracy buff who believes that these conspiracies are true. Take care and goodbye.